Good evening, folks. This is Darth Rabbit 07 coming to you today with another quick review. Just got to say that persistence was key and paid off finally. I used this UPC to find this next review at Target today. I've been looking for this guy for 2 weeks, and everybody else is finding them up and down the eastern seaboard, and I just kept fishing, guys. So 2 weeks of persistence yielded today's review. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Let's roll this opening footage here, and thanks again for tuning in and subscribing. And here we have Armada Universe Megatron on the turntable, and I couldn't be happier, guys. Let's take a look at that beautiful side box art period. There's the back of the box, 23 steps from robot mode to tank mode and back again. And there's that. Pause and scan here if you want to get a hold of a very funny bio. Pause and scan here for the UPC to find in stores. I hope this helps someone else find theirs. Let's get Megatron out of that box and see how cool he actually is. And here is Megatron out of box and on the turntable, looking absolutely fantastic. The only two things he comes with is this here little add-on piece that you can take off, and it's in the box, like tucked away kind of sort of there, and then you just peg that back on and you have his full-blown turret. And then he comes with this 23 steps of great instructions, and I'm not going to go unfolding it because it's a little bit awkward to do so. But getting back to this tank mode, like I said, it is actually really spectacular in hand, very solid feel. I really do like this thing a whole lot as we take a spin around the block there and let you look at all the details there. The only thing I can fault its paintwork is they painted one side of this old MICRON play feature orange like it's supposed to be, and then they foregone that, so I'm going to have to pick y'all's mind, and if you know the color match for this thing so I can paint this other side, I'm definitely going to do that. We have the combat ports versus the MICRON pegs on this guy. He had MICRON pegs there, I want to say there, and this was like a whole play feature that opened up zigzag, and it's just molded in there detail. I'm grateful for all the molded detail. You plug in this thing right here and it would activate this back in the day, and this is kind of stuck on mine. It likes to pop off very easily, and it's kind of another missed opportunity because like it only goes up that far. But that's the only things I can, the lack of paint there and this thing going up that far. But other than that, it's still pretty faithful to its Armada. It's a great update for the Armada Megatron. He's got his MICRON, head antlers there, pincing away, going to capture some MICRONs. He has, like I said, another combat port here and here. So you could take the Siege, War for Cybertron, Earthrise, and the Kingdom, MICRONs, and peg them in as accordingly and recreate all that stuff. He's got one there on the top there. Lots of ports even in back here in the back, so you could open up those feet flaps and peg in more stuff if you desire to. Or I'm sure we'll have a third party come along and give us Leader 1 finally. It'd have been nice for the price point if we'd have gotten a Leader 1 to go along with this, but I'm afraid to ask that because I don't want steps backwards and stuff, and I feel like even with through the War for Cybertron, through Earthrise and Kingdom, that they just kept on getting smaller and smaller, or just lacking more and more articulation. I would really like to have seen those get a better shake at it. But anyway, this thing is flipping awesome, has a good weight and heft in hand. Here's a look at the bottom for those that are curious. I like how they did the flaps and how everything locks together. The faceplate is done rather neatly, and just wow, guys. Transformation's absolutely a lot of fun. The 23 steps are great. Feels great in hand, and this one has zero electronics. The other one was loaded and riddled with the gimmicks and the electronics, and it cut into the articulation back in the day. So that's enough rambling about this beautiful and awesome, excellent. Oh, and it rolls extremely good. I mean, as rolling things should roll, this guy rolls good, and it'd be nice and neat to see them somehow incorporate actual tanks treads, kind of like Rampage, but that ain't going to happen here. Eventually, I'd love to see the repaint into Galvatron. I'm sure that they've got this pinned as a Galvatron repaint in the Generation Select line. And if not, Hasbro, please give us a Galvatron in Generation Select. I even got this guy transforming. I really am just going crazy about it. Love that he came in tank mode in the box. So let's get him transformed through a little bit of YouTube magic in 3, 2, 1, and here he is in robot mode, looking absolutely beautiful. I really do enjoy the way this thing turned out. Looks really, really great, no matter the side or angle, or even from the back. There's not a whole lot of gappage there, unless you're absolutely looking for gappage right here, and then you got quite a bit. So I really wish this was be filled in or have like a hinge here. They could have done that there and knocked this thing out of the park totally there. When it gets into articulation, his head can spin all the way around. These little antlers do like to pop off quite a bit, and some people will talk about gluing them in, but I don't want to glue them in because I think he looks great. Sans the antlers, I really do like the way that looks too. So be it with antlers or without antlers, this is a really, really freaking awesome Armada Megatron head. I'm going to pop those back on real quick, as I think this looks good and leaves that original one in the dust when it comes to that. This used to be a slider here on the old figure, and it used to pop up the grill plate, and the grill plate kind of pops in and out now right there, so he can be masked or whatever. And then back in the day, you could actually do it and make him like play peekaboo, kind of sort of like that right there, and kind of make it look menacing. But now it's just a flip out, flip in, and it's that way today. And it did have a teeny Decepticon symbol there, if I remember that correctly. And this thing used to launch. It's just hold your blast effects these days. And like I said, with articulation, he can go all the way around. He's got a little up and he's got a little down that way, but no up, due to the back of the head bumping into the very base there. As you can see, it just kind of, and it's done. It ain't going no further. Beautiful paint on that, by the way. And then great detail throughout. Looks just absolutely amazing. The biggest thing in the articulations, the biggest shortcoming is it's got these weird shoulder joints here, and it does wing out that way, but there you only go up so far there, and that's where you're stopped due to the way it's made or whatnot. You got the upper bicep swivel there. You got about 90 degrees in the elbow. You got wrist swivel, which is always a big, huge plus. I love that, and especially, I mean, these things should all have the wrist swivels. These moves here, I think they could have worked out another thing here and made this to where it could articulate and whatnot. I can't remember if the old one did articulate or what have you, but I like how it cleans up really nice in there. He does got a waist swivel and can go all the way around due to his other function, and we'll get into that in a minute or whatnot. So you can get the waist where it needs to be. You can get the full splits, so you get the full van damage. You can get a pretty good T if you wanted to, and mine's a little bit loosey-goosey when it comes to that joint there, but that's part of it, I guess, guys. Upper thigh swivel, you got 90 degrees at the knee, and you got some ankle tiltage that has a filler there. It's really cleverly done, as you can see, and I really do dig this a whole bunch. This one over the original busts some really freaking cool poses, and I love the way it looks no matter how you look at it. I mean, he just looks awesome. I can hear the David K coming out of him and these other Megatrons, and wow, I just wish that they would utilize David K and Gary Chalk, because both of them really did rock the role in Armada. Even with some of the most horrible, cringe-worthy lines both of those esteemed voice actors had to weather. I wish the voice act or the lines in that show would catch up to the talent that is David K and Gary Chalk. David K and Gary Chalk were not a part of Rise of the Beast. They have Beast in the name, they have Beast on the screen, but that's not the Beast Wars folks that we love. The Maximals, no Predacons, yeah, that just was not that. It would be neat if the new Transformers 1 movie, the animated movie coming out next year, actually incorporated them somehow, some way, and or even spawn off a Beast Wars 1 with David Kay and Gary Chalk, and as much as the cast that is still with us, let them get back and reprise those roles, because David Kay and Gary Chalk definitely are the voices of the Armadas, and I think that show definitely deserves better writing and or anyway. The original show was cringeworthy at best. I don't think I've ever been able to just finish watching it ever. It's the least watched show that in the MICRON trilogy. I really couldn't even stomach the Cybertron nor the Energon from the Cybertron trilogy that Armada was a part of. Let's get into some final thoughts about this guy though right now. Some final thoughts on Armada Megatron here from the Legacy Evolution line. I forget the wave, but this guy, unlike the show, is far from cringeworthy. This guy absolutely rocks and is a rock star, and I didn't think I would take to this as much as I have. And yeah, I do got it extended and transformed, but we got to have Tidal Wave come out and be with this guy. And the associated recolors and the generation selects would be more than ideal. I'd be willing to ante up that dough again to get a hold of the Galvatron and the Tidal Wave. I just didn't think this thing would appeal to me as much as it has, and this thing absolutely rocks. Even minus electronics, it's got all the articulation except for like there in the shoulders, and those little antlers will pop off, and the gappage I was talking about. That stuff's got to stop, Hasbro, for the money that we're getting charged. This should be like top notch. The articulation should always be there, and this does have the wrist swivels and the waist and all that. The other thing that this thing is kind of lacking that I forgot to hit a little earlier, and it's the only other negative, is that this thing will not spin all the way around, so you can't do that whole bit where it spins around and around and around. But anyway, you see my picture, you get my point, and I might be able to get in there and mod or look at some other persons that may have modded it to give it that little bit of functionality to where it will spin all the way around, because that would be a total win for the tank mode. But one more last look here, as this thing just, I can't get over how cool it really is and how much I really do like this. Thanks again for watching my channel, guys. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the stuff down in the description below there. Thank you again to all those who have subscribed and helped me on the journey so far. I really do appreciate you guys. You guys totally rock. Have an excellent week all. Until all are one. Thanks again.